средствами поражения, а по отдельным компонентам и более современным, чем у стран НАТО. И при угрозе территориальной целостности нашей страны для защиты России и нашего народа мы, безусловно, используем все имеющиеся в нашем распоряжении средства. Это не блеф.
Russia sending fresh signals to the West after annexing 4 Ukrainian territories. Moscow seems to be mounting another escalation, a nuclear escalation. Some disturbing reports have emerged. A convoy is on the move. It is believed to be carrying equipment from Russia's nuclear program. Where is this convoy headed? Apparently to the front lines in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin has issued a warning to the West. He had said his nuclear threats should not be considered a bluff. Remember that. Is Putin now acting on his threats? What does this mean for the war in Ukraine? Russia's latest nuclear dare is our cover story tonight. I'd like to begin with some pictures. A video has emerged from central Russia. Take a look. And now let's take a closer look at those pictures. What do you see? There are some military assets. They are mounted on a train and they are on the move. What exactly is on this train? Some reports have emerged. There is a reason to be worried. Apparently, this train is linked to the Russian Ministry of Defense. More specifically, the 12th Main Directorate. What does it do? According to a report, the 12th Main Directorate is a secret nuclear division. It is responsible for nuclear munitions for one, their storage, maintenance, transport, and issuance to military units. So, were nuclear weapons being moved on that train? That's the question. We cannot say for sure at this point. Some experts are skeptical. They say these could just be armored vehicles and nothing more. But we need to focus on this fact that no expert is denying this fact. Russia's greatest leverage in this war is its nuclear arsenal. We've spoken about this before, and Moscow plans to use it to its advantage. The NATO has issued a warning to its members. It claims Vladimir Putin has ordered a nuclear test. It could be conducted on Ukraine's borders. This assessment was part of a NATO intelligence report. It had some very specific details. Allegedly, Russia is now considering testing the Poseidon. It has been nicknamed the weapon of the apocalypse. Why? Well, much of its capabilities still remain a secret. Russia hasn't shared much about the Poseidon, but what we do know is this. The missile is about 20 meters long. It is a torpedo, which means it is fired from a submarine. The missile is said to have a range of at least 10,000 kilometers. So it is essentially a long-range weapon. A Russian submarine is on the move. The K-529 Belgorod. It is capable of firing nuclear missiles. NATO hasn't said anything yet about these reports publicly, but last week it had warned the Russian president. Listen in now.
President Putin's nuclear rhetoric is dangerous. It is reckless. Russia must understand that the nuclear war can never be won and must never be fought, and it will have severe consequences for Russia.
Let's talk about the United States. What's its reaction? Well, the US is not dismissing these threats either. They are taking them rather seriously. The White House has issued its own assessment. It said the world would not take the threats from Putin lightly.
Well, what's interesting is that at various points over the course of this conflict, including right at the outset, Putin has brandished the nuclear card. He's doing it again. So the risk has been there from the start.
The risk has been there from the start. What's driving these fears, though? Is there any factual basis to these assessments? Or is it all just posturing at the end of the day? There are some reasons why these threats are being taken seriously at the moment, and one of them is Russia's nuclear doctrine. It describes the conditions under which the Russian state can undertake a nuclear strike. At this point, I want to draw your attention to a very specific clause. A nuclear strike is allowed in the event of, and I'm quoting, aggression against the Russian Federation.
Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Yours in his gospel, brother, lifting up the stern of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a real quick lesson, man. This is it stated that nuclear weapons convoy spotted. Allegedly, Russia may test missiles on Ukrainian border just to kind of stave on the West, or kind of show them the power they're flexing with. But see, another thing too, I hate doing videos like this, honestly speaking, because there's always a test or we gonna threaten to do this, and nothing ever happens, man. So it kind of puts me in a different spirit, but nonetheless, we have to report on it because, you know, we are the watchmen and we supposed to let Jake know the world know what's going to happen before it happens. That's the job of the men of the Lord. But regardless of this, man, it's kind of aggravating when you get into these things and they don't end up doing this shit. Or allegedly when Pelosi was flying over Taiwan or China to Taiwan, the Chinese were supposed to shoot her fucking plane down and they didn't do it. You see, it's like, okay, y'all calling all this fluff and puff, man. You know, but it's still rumors and rumors of wars, you know, at the end of the day, you know, because there's a dictation here between these nations that they want to go to war, man. They're going to go to war eventually. But you see, the Most High have to have things set up in proper order, all right, in proper place. So this is nothing more but a room of war, okay? So real quick, man, this is the book of Isaiah 54, and I'm going to start at verse 16. It says, "Behold, I've created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth the instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy it." Okay, so that's going into the Lord's missile, or the nuclear missiles, the Lord's armory, because they said that they had a bomb called Poseidon. Okay, they don't even really know the full capability of this technology yet. Okay, but they called it Poseidon, and they called it that's the bomb of Armageddon, because allegedly it can affect over to 10,000 kilometers of space or area. And that's very devastating, man, okay? So it says here, "Behold, I've created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire and bringeth forth the instrument for his work. And I've created a waster to destroy." And that instrument of the missiles, and that waster is this damn devil. Okay, like when you go into the quote of Oppenheimer, okay, that was one of the scientists that was responsible for the creation of the atom bomb. He stated that I am a destroyer of worlds. Okay, and the Lord put it in his spirit to say such thing because that's the nature of Esau. Okay, he's a destroyer. Okay, Revelation, the 6th chapter, the 4th verse, the red horse took it peace from the earth. Okay, and caused the world to be plunged in utter chaos. That's Esau, man. Okay, so got another precept here. This is the book of Jeremiah 50, and I'm going to start at verses 25. It says, "The Lord hath opened up his armory and hath brought forth his weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh in the of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans." And that's talking about this Babylon here. Okay, so you go into the word armory in the Hebrew, and it goes into Atazarah. So Atazarah, which means treasure, storehouse, treasure, gold, silver, store, supplies of food or drink, treasure house, treasury, storehouse, magazine of weapons, God's armory, storehouses, God for rain, snow, hell, wind, judgment. You see? All right. So it says here, he have opened his armory, and how does he did that? Okay, by the nuclear missiles, the creating of the missiles, you know, and the fact that they're testing missiles, and North Korea testing missiles, shooting them into space, you know, and these other nations coming forward with the nuclear arsenal to test their weapons on the West. This is nothing more than, okay, and this is the Lord's, this is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's protocol, because according to Zephaniah 3:8, he said that this is my determinations to gather the nations to battle. Okay, so why everything is being set up, World War III is pretty much being orchestrated by the agitation of both sides, the West and the East. Okay, Russia, China, Iran, okay, North Korea, the Saudis, then you got the West, you got NATO, the EU, America, which they're going to turn on Babylon the Great, but this war is being orchestrated with the central point focusing on this Ukraine thing, man. Okay, because Poland and Germany plays a big part up in that too. Okay, going back into World War II. So these same nations doing the Third Reich, if you look at it, they're forming the same alliance to some degree. You see what I'm saying? And that's all the Lord's plan. So by the time the MOTB is fully implemented, hey, it's gonna already be a chaotic world, man, because hey, the tensions are already built up. The hatred, the animosities, and the bankers are playing both sides is already there. So it wouldn't make sense for this thing to build up after the MOTB is already established, but it's going to be a build up until that point. And when the MOTB is finally established, then the nukes will be shot off. Okay, so the Lord is working behind the scenes, man. It's beautiful. Okay, and it says here to come against her from the utmost borders. And what's the utmost borders? Russia, okay, China, Iran. All right, it says here from the utmost borders, open her storehouses and cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly and let nothing of her be left. Okay, because it's the Lord's purpose to make a complete end of this society. Okay, from point A to point Z, from freaking California all the way down to Florida is going to be a great desert. Okay, Canada, Alaska, the Most High is going to hit this place, man. Okay, because he wants nothing left of this. When people look at this place, it's going to be a memorial as to not what to be, or as what you're not supposed to be like. Okay, when you look at this place, you're going to remember the sins of adultery, okay, lewdness, fornication, okay, blasphemy, all those things, man. The MOT, not that, but the Momo agenda, that thing is completely out of rampant. Like, it's justified now on going down, But one last precept, I gotta go actually, but this is the last precept here. This is the book of Matthew, 24th chapter, because it's still a room of war, okay? Matthew 24, and I'm gonna start at verses 6. It says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, but see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, okay? And shortly after they should deliver you up to be afflicted and should kill you, and you should be hated of all nations for my sake. So in the midst of this, our persecution is coming too. Okay, prime example, certain videos, like I said, the video I did last week about the Kansas City killer. Eventually, in some degree, they would try to use that if they ever, but they're going to come out this anyway, but let's just say if they ever succeeded on getting their hands on the men of the Lord in this particular city, and we have to go before a council, you better rest assured they're going to use videos like that to try to hem us up. But there's nothing they're going to be able to do because the Holy Spirit is going to be on us. So do what you got to do, man. But regardless of that, man, this place is going to fall regardless. So anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom, and above all, shalom.